About 15 years ago, I was on the phone to my sister, and I happened to mention to her that as I was approaching 30, things had changed. I could no longer eat and drink whatever I wanted without putting on weight. She asked me if I'd heard of Weight Watchers, which I had, and that kick-started a conversation where she taught me the fundamentals of the program. She told me that you were assigned a daily and weekly points total, and every food was assigned a points value. As you ate food, you ate into your points allowance. It seemed interesting, and most importantly, it worked. I lost the 15 or so pounds that had been troubling me. In subsequent years, I would find myself having to actively work to keep on top of my weight, and would lean on the Weight Watchers principles that I had learned. But I needed some other motivators. I found challenging my friends would push me to work harder, primarily to avoid being the victim of their brutal sense of humor. But I discovered that the key was community on my journey. So much so that several years later, when I wanted to learn the fundamentals of a new programming language as an evening hack project, I decided to explore an idea that would let friends lose weight together in a fun way. A key personal thing that I learned from that project was I was far better buried deep in the back-end code than I was at front-end visual design. But then 4 years ago, when I was having fun building out one of the world's first Bitcoin funds, I was approached for the role of head of engineering at Weight Watchers. Even though I felt that Weight Watchers had lost some relevance, I decided it was worth a conversation. The night before my first interview, I had gone to bed and didn't realize I should check out their website before the meeting. So at 11 p.m., I got up to take a look, and this is what I got on the homepage. Needless to say, I went into the interview very cynical, thinking that this was a company that was ripe for disruption by technology competitors. During that interview, I discovered that the way I looked at Weight Watchers was the way that the management team looked at Weight Watchers. I realized here is this iconic 50-plus-year-old company with an inspiring mission and this credible opportunity to disrupt it from within. I became obsessed. Now, things were obviously not perfect. That message to members was up for 7 hours while the site was down to do an upgrade. I can never say that I went into this job without my eyes being wide open. But this told me a lot. I was pretty sure there was a legacy monolithic architecture with legacy engineering practices and a culture that needed to evolve. It was an interesting time in health tech. The proliferation of apps and hardware in this space was not insignificant, and people were excited to try different things. When it comes to health and wellness, there is no shortage of opinion on what's good and what's bad, resulting in consumer confusion. People want to get healthier. They're just not sure the best way to do it. Just have a look at these actual headlines, which highlight the amount of opinion out there, some based on science, some not, and how overwhelming it is. People have become lost in a wellness fog. There is a tremendous need for an effective, science-based program combined with community to provide inspiration and connection. Delivering that program via the best technology not only makes it relevant to today's consumers, it makes it accessible to everyone, scaling world-class behavior change to millions of people around the world. So when I started at Weight Watchers, on the technology team, we started to work on 3 fundamental areas. One of the key components of getting any transformation right is culture, and culture shows up in many different ways. When I joined, we were relying heavily on external partners to help us build our experiences. In fact, we didn't have a mobile engineering team in-house. Organizationally, we were very siloed and not very collaborative. And our engineering practices, technologies, and processes were dated. As I had guessed, our technology was indeed monolithic and had been incrementally added to over the previous decade or more. One by one, we started to take on these problems. We started to hire more of our own engineers. We started to use modern technologies. We embraced modern engineering practices. We sat with our teams and not our function, and we became agile. When I started, we were partnering with a consulting company to help us with this, but we decided to do it ourselves, adding people who had worked in these types of environments to our team. On the tech front, we embrace a modern microservice, API-driven, cloud-based architecture. We rewrote many of our key web and mobile experiences, partnering closely with our friends in the product and design team to create intuitive user experiences. And finally, we became human-centric. As we looked at the root of why Weight Watchers was successful, it was based primarily on two things. First, a science-based program that worked and was livable. Second, our passionate community where people find inspiration and solidarity. Both were equally important. In 1963, Weight Watchers was founded by Jean Nidetch in her living room. And we actually like to say that we were the first social network. But the truth of it is that communities existed from the earliest days of civilization and are core to our social fabric. It is then no surprise that an individual's personal transformative journey, that they would be more successful in a community. At that time, our meetings represented our community. But as the world was changing and adopting more digital solutions, we needed to bring our community to life digitally. Our mobile app, introduced in 2009, had all the program functionality for tracking food, activity, and weight, but not the community that was so fundamental to the in-person experience at Weight Watchers. Bringing this to our digital experience would help us meet people where they are and offer a more personalized solution. Out of this, our community, which we call Connect, was born. It is a digital community for our members, which captures support and captures the support that strong physical communities provide, with a 99% positive comments on all our posts. We created a safe space for people on their transformative journeys where they could get unjudged support and inspiration from their community. The evolution of our offerings to our members was very visible, and we could also see the engagement of our members increase. As we're becoming human-centric, we also identified some other things that our members wanted. Weight loss was no longer enough. People wanted to feel healthier and well. Weight loss on its own was less relevant, and while people wanted to lose weight, they wanted to get there in a way that was more about what you gained, which is strength, confidence, energy, and happiness, than what you lost. And we're all not alike, so we need to be able to understand people better, guide them on their journey in a personalized way. So we actually reimagined our mission. Today, our mission is to inspire healthy habits for real life, for people, for families, communities, the world, for everyone. To do that, we need to know you and meet you where you are. GCP and its suite of data tools are crucial on this front as we aggregate data from disparate parts of our organization to power personalized experiences. We also need to enable you to find and create inspired communities, which Connect is uniquely suited to do. And we need to help you build powerful habits rooted in science. When I look back at my first experience with Weight Watchers, it was a science-based approach that is the world's most livable and successful program, combined with the community and my friends that helped me lose those 15 pounds. But that overall feeling of health and wellness is what I remember most, and that still rings true to me today. Over the years, I have picked up many healthy habits. I have modified things like my normal breakfast and my normal lunch. These were some of the things I needed to work on. The opportunity we have going forward is to personalize that experience even more so every individual can get the support they need on their journey. Taking the best of behavioral science and leveraging the best of technology is a key evolution for us so we can anticipate our members' needs and provide them with the tools and inspiration they need before they ask for it. helping members to find and form communities around life stages like new parents or recent college grads, as well as their passions from food and fitness to fashion and travel. We have a vision of growing our community of more than 4 million globally into a much larger, more powerful movement that helps each individual define and achieve their version of healthy. Thank you.